Katara versus Toph. Who wins between these two powerful benders if they were to face off in a full-scale battle? Well, that's the battle I have for y'all today. Like, share, and subscribe, as well as comment down below on any thoughts you'll have about this video. Now, before we get right into the video, let me just state that I'm only going to be using these two characters from the 3 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Nickelodeon, not Legend of Korra or anything else, just the 3 seasons. Now let's get into it by starting with their physical strength. Well, I think it's quite obvious that I'll go towards Toph in terms of physical strength. I think as an earthbender, she naturally has insane levels of physical strength to allow her to do the many earthbending things she's capable of doing. But in terms of speed, I think they are more or less relative, being capable of keeping up with the same caliber of characters for the most part. I will though say that Katara is more agile and more mobile than Toph, obviously, and that will obviously help her out in the battle against Toph, but in terms of just general speed, I'll prefer to say that they are more or less relative. And then in terms of durability, I'll lean towards Katara being more durable. Toph has obviously taken a few attacks, and that obviously means she is decently durable, but I think Katara has just taken more attacks than Toph, so I'll lean towards her in the aspect. I don't think any of them are actually quite skilled in hand-to-hand combat, so I'm not going to say much about that. I'm just going to move on to their power, their bending power, and this one is the one that really gets complicating and really tricky. You see, both of them are more or less masters in the element, some of the best benders throughout the entirety of the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. Both of them are to some extent even prodigies, which just always, it just kind of puts them at the same caliber more and more. Katara has so many different ways of attacking with her waterbending. She has so many different techniques. She's able to defeat highly skilled waterbenders, firebenders, and earthbenders. She's also able to turn her water into ice and then attack in a variety of different ways with that ice, which is quite a significant factor to consider given that Toph struggles to actually see on ice, and Katara can actually use that to her advantage by getting off the earth and just attacking from the air with that ice. But Toph does have a large arsenal herself. With just general earthbending, she's able to attack in a variety of different ways, able to take out entire armies of earthbenders and firebenders and so on, just with general earthbending. And then she has sandbending and metal bending on top of that. Yes, they have to be in the area to be like useful to her, but she still has that and it still does increase her advantage. She then has seismic sense, which means anyone on the ground is kind of visible to her and at her mercy more or less, which only increases the advantage she has in this battle. And then she has a lot of raw power with all of that, being able to change large land masses, throw around large boulders, and obviously literally keep up a massive library for a decent period of time. And this was while she was surrounded by sand, which at the time was a disadvantage to her. So she has a lot of raw power with her insane arsenal. Now, who do I actually think wins between these two characters if they were to face off in a full-scale battle? Well, this battle is actually insanely tricky and insanely close, because both of them are masters, both of them are prodigies, both of them have taken out massive and large amounts of firebenders and earthbenders, so both of them are just insanely powerful. But I will slightly lean towards Toph winning this battle. Now, I know many people might not agree with that or be happy about that, it's completely understandable, but based on what I've seen, I do believe Toph has the capabilities of actually claiming this battle. First of all, she has a larger arsenal than Katara. Yes, Katara can attack in a variety of different ways with her water bending, and then change her water bending into ice bending, and then attack in a few ways with that. But Toph, on the other hand, also has a variety of different ways of attacking with just general earth bending, and then she has metal bending and sand bending on top of that, along with the ability of seismic sense, and then she has a lot of raw power with that. So I think Toph just has a slightly larger arsenal than Katara. But to top that off, Toph naturally has a stronger element, or a more powerful, more destructive element than that of Katara. Earth can overpower water. Yes, I am giving Katara a decent bit of water in this battle, like the river she had in like Ba Sing Se, or the one she had when she fought against Azula in the Fire Nation. I'm giving her a decent bit of water, but nevertheless, Earth is more powerful than water, which naturally means in that aspect Toph can overpower Katara. And now I do know that Katara can get off the ground by using ice, which is a big problem for Toph given that she can't see on ice, and she can get off the ground and then attack Toph from the air or from that ice. But if Toph can't see her opponents, she can simply put up a earth barrier or a dust cloud, which does mean that she can protect herself to some extent. Katara doesn't have that amount of raw destructive power to be able to destroy an earth barrier. So if she was to get off the ground and Toph puts up a barrier, she has no proper way of actually landing a proper blow against Toph, given that that barrier would be protecting her, and Toph would then still be able to attack her whilst being protected by her barrier, which does kind of give Toph the slight advantage in this aspect. And obviously, the moment Katara gets back on the ground, she's at Toph's mercy. Yes, Katara is more mobile, more agile than Toph. That's a guarantee. But Toph still has an insanely large arsenal, as well as the capabilities of naturally overpowering Katara's water bending with her earth bending, and then the ability of protecting herself and attacking her opponents at the same time. It is obviously a tricky fight because Katara does still have the ability of getting off the ground. She does have the ability of attacking in a variety of different ways with her water bending and ice bending, and she has taken out masters of earth bending and fire bending and water bending and all that. But nevertheless, I will still lean towards Toph because of the advantages she has in this battle, with the natural advantage of having a slightly larger arsenal as well as more raw destructive power than Katara. Now, I know many people are going to have a lot of comments and thoughts about this. It's completely understandable. If y'all do, please leave them down below. I'd love to see them. This is MC Info with another MC Clash. I'm out.